So if you saw in the last video, the hood scoop came off of my Bullitt while I was doing a pull on the highway, and I decided to come up and start working on the car. So just take the cover off and get working here. Now there were pieces of the hood scoop that were still left behind. I basically had one corner of the scoop still attached, but the back bracket area was still bolted to the car and all the hardware was still there. You can see this very back piece. There's the beautiful original True Blue coming out from under the hood. I'll have to get on to working on that later to paint correct the hood again. I've done it before and it came out really nice, but it's starting to oxidize again. Like I was talking about, once you do it, I think it comes back a lot faster. So here's the hood scoop. I bought this super strength molding tape. It says it's panel adhesive, and I think I've heard somewhere that Roush hood scoops are held on just with double-sided tape. I know the louvers on the Mach 1s, the aftermarket louvers, are held on with double-sided 3M tape, so I thought maybe I'd give that a try. This might not be permanent, and it might just be a temporary fix just to drive the car around with. So I did get the hardware off of the hood. You can see that's the last piece of the bracket that was still connected to the hood itself. And so the next thing I wanted to do was go through and clean up the whole area. It was a little bit dirty under here anyway, but I mostly wanted to use some just some drinking water, spot-free water, and clean up the area around where the scoop's going to go. And as you can see, there's holes behind where the hood scoop's mounted. That's because I had to cut the hole in the hood for the clearance of the supercharger, and then I moved the hood scoop forward, and by doing that I had to drill new holes for the hood scoop and mount it that way. And it never sat flush like it probably should, and there is some double-sided tape that the factory hood scoop had on it, and maybe it was missing it in some places and it had it in the other. So that's definitely going to be addressed here with this new setup. So I went ahead and got that all cleaned up and just wanted to make sure I had a clean mating surface for both sides of the scoop. And there's not a whole lot of surface area on the scoop itself. It's probably 3/4 of the size of the tape. So as you can see here, I ran that double-sided tape on the sticky side on the scoop itself, and then I wanted to test fit it to see how flush I could get it, like I was talking about earlier. So it actually did really well. Having this extra 3M tape on here gives a little bit of a cushion and a little bit of a spacing from the scoop to the hood, as a matter of fact. So it actually does line up really well now, and it sits more flush, especially with that tape on there. And like I said, I don't know how well this is going to hold. It might start blowing off on the first freeway pull, and I might reinforce it on the inside. And so it was a little bit tricky to make sure that this is going to go on just the way it's supposed to once you remove the backing of the other side of the tape. And so I was trying to be very, very careful with it and just try to place it where it needs to go, because once you get it on there you can't move it around. And with the other 3M products I've used like this before, once you lay it down you need to hold pressure on it for like 15 or 30 seconds or something. And so I wanted to get it lined up right and then try to just push down and lean on it. And you'll see here that I spent a pretty good amount of time pushing down on it and leaning on it and getting it flat. And it might not look like it in the video, but I really put some weight into it and tried to push down and get it flat. And it turned out really nice. So far it's doing pretty well. So this is just kind of an update on that. Like I said, I really like this hood. I think the GT hood belongs on the Bullitt. I could do a Cal hood, and maybe I'll get another hood in the future. What I originally wanted to do was buy another stock V6 hood, which is the same hood that never had a scoop on it before, recut the hole where it needs to be, and put the hood scoop on there again. So That was the original plan, but I do like the stock hood. There's no reason to really get rid of it. This one, even though it has the ugly holes where the scoop used to be attached in the back, it still doesn't really bother me that much, and I like the fitment. The panel alignment is really good. And that's something that you risk when you go to a new hood. Maybe you'll have a bad gap somewhere, or the hood doesn't line up just right, and some aftermarket hoods don't really fit, and I don't think I'd really look into the aftermarket hoods that much. And I know a lot of people have them, and a lot of people will probably say that theirs are just right and they like them a lot, but this is the look I've always loved. I've always liked this scoop. Now I might also drill out the honeycomb and make it more functional so that there's more air going to that Eaton. And that might be good because not that the supercharger is going to gain anything from it, but it might cool it down a little bit. So drilling out that honeycomb might help cool down the supercharger and also relieve a little bit of the pressure from the hood scoop. I'm thinking that one of the reasons the hood scoop came off was because the back corner wasn't flush, and I think air was coming into the back side of it, kind of like a cowl style air induction was happening. It's coming into the back corner and lifting the hood scoop, and you could see the hood scoop moving a little bit on the freeway when you'd be driving, so maybe drilling that out would relieve a little of that pressure too. So that's the update for the Bullitt. We're going to see what else we can do with it. I'm going to do some more to it to help out, but I'm very happy that the scoop's back on at least, and I can drive it around and feel a little bit better. Still have some trimming to do there too. But anyway, that's the update for the Bullitt for now. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more update videos and more Mustang content.